Welcome to the Business of Travel, the official podcast of the Global Business Travel Association. My name is Fanny Everard, and I'll be your host for today's episode of the Carbon Compass, a special subseries of the Business of Travel podcast, focused on sustainability and planet-related conversations. Together, we will explore, discuss, and demystify the world of sustainability in business travel. I have the pleasure to introduce you to Chrissa Pagitsas, CEO of Pagitsas Advisors, best-selling author and sustainability leader with a track record of market-transforming work. Chrissa will also be delivering the opening keynote at the GBTA Sustainability Summit, taking place on June 10th in Washington, D.C. This conversation is just the start of topics we'll be addressing at the summit. So make sure you register for that as well. On today's episode, we'll focus on the intersection of sustainability, innovation, and business resilience, with a special look at the travel industry. Hi, Chrissa. How are you?
Hi, Fanny. Wonderful to be here today.
Yeah, thank you. Can I please ask you to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Fanny. It's a pleasure to be here speaking to the travel community. As CEO of Pagitsas Advisors, my team and I work very hard to support many types of companies globally that look to sustainability as a way to drive business growth. Sustainability is a way to address energy and water, but also social issues that really make every industry, including travel industry, growing, appealing, and on the cutting edge.
Thank you so much, Chrissa. I think that's first and foremost a great introduction to also what we'll be talking about at our sustainability summit. And I'm really interested in a very specific part of your career. You've built Fannie Mae's green bond from zero to a $51 billion business. And your work has had a transformative impact on the financial and business sectors. So, how do you see sustainability as a critical driver of business success?
Fanny, I've been working at the intersection of business and sustainability for 25 years. And what's very interesting to me is when people decouple sustainability from transformation and business growth. For 11 of those 25 years, I worked at Fannie Mae. I was first the director of the green financing business and then the VP of ESG, both first-time roles for Fannie Mae. My initial mission was to figure out how to use the core product of Fannie Mae, which is mortgages, to deliver something more, something sustainable, and while developing a new line of business, which was a green mortgage, which is then a green bond. Fannie Mae did not have those products before I arrived there in 2010. So, through looking at what people really wanted, people being borrowers of mortgages for apartment buildings, it really was an opportunity to say these types of products, these buildings need to be more energy and water efficient to drive net operating income. And that is really what ended up being the reason why the business was a success, because the product, that green mortgage, delivered business value, delivered a bottom line, both for the borrower, for Fannie Mae, and created a better apartment building, a better home for the people and families that lived in it. That's really the secret of success, Fanny, around sustainability in business is do something better with your existing product than you did before by thinking about the environment, by thinking about social impact.
I truly, truly appreciate you saying that. I think that's extremely relevant, particularly for the business travel community. I think in the face of, the current situation when it comes to climate change, the travel industry has as well some real challenges to face. when it comes to delivering products and even trips, where we bring this duty of care to our travelers. And so thinking about creating products that have this sense of both sustainability but value to the traveler is absolutely relevant to our community as well. So thank you so much.
And Fanny, if I could add on that, when you say the word product, I think that is the right word for our listeners and for those that'll be attending the Sustainability Summit to think about. A product is made up of so many different components within the travel community. It's the mode of transportation, it's the food that the guests will be eating, it'll be the lodging, it'll be the experience. That product and those components of the products all have opportunities to be made more sustainable. Maybe some have a little bit more challenges, maybe some are easier, but it's the combination of all of those components that really create a sustainable product in the travel community and what the guest and the traveler is looking for.
Absolutely. And we're actually so excited that you'll be delivering the opening keynotes at the upcoming summit, because I think your experience will set such set the scene to really have those conversations. So without giving too much away, what's the one key idea or message you hope the audience walks away with from your talk?
I am excited, Fanny, about the entire summit. Candidly, I will be there for the whole day, so I'm looking forward to meeting people throughout the day. The keynote that we developed together is really about thriving through change. How, in uncertain times and an uncertain environment, do you, as a leader and as a business, continue to grow? The thing is, Fanny, during uncertainty, sometimes we want to pull back, sort of go into a little shell, go into a safe place, and maybe wait for the turbulence to pass us by. But in fact, what I'm going to speak about, and I hope that I really inspire everyone who attends, is actually this is the time to be out experimenting, figuring out where to get key partnerships that will help de risk some of the things that you're going to be piloting. Because what we know for certain in uncertain times is that when it all calms down, it's going to be different than it was before. So you're going to have to change anyway. Now is the time to figure out the right partnerships and the right pilots in order to sustain, to grow, and be ready for the next phase.
I'm going to let that sink in a little bit, because I think that resonates a lot with me, and I hope it does for the audience. Um, Thank you for sharing that. So now shifting a bit more towards just more generally, given the US administration has, completely rolled back the country's climate ambitions, it's definitely an interesting context to have a sustainability summit. Do you think it's the right time for an event like this to happen in Washington, D.C.?
I think it's the right time and the right place. When we think about the travel industry, which supports and is connected to so many global companies, this is the place to be to understand the context of the changing environment with the current administration. As somebody who's lived in Washington, D.C. for 25 years myself, the conversations that you'll have are timely, are relevant, are something that you might not hear in your local community because you're so connected and close. And in terms of having a sustainability conversation at this time, it's more relevant than ever. When regulations get pulled back, that's when companies step up and step in. Oftentimes, what we see is that relationship. Regulations roll back, but companies see it as a needed service, a needed item, a needed product. And if anything, what we're seeing is that sustainable products, particularly in the travel industry, are in demand. Both consumer travelers are looking for it, business travels are looking for it, because frankly, it makes sense. They need a better experience, they need certainty in travel, and sustainability helps provide that answer. So, Washington, D.C. is the place to be, and a sustainability summit in Washington, D.C. by GBTA is where you want to be.
And, when we think about our listeners, there's one question that we regularly get, beyond, the current context, etc., which I think your previous points truly addressed, any concerns that people might have when it comes to this subject. But at the end of the day, attending even a one-day event is you need to make time for it within your agenda. And so I wonder, what's your take on what's the business case to come to a sustainability focused conference?
There's two reasons. The business case has one that's based on technical knowledge. I think you're looking at a conference that's going to offer you technical knowledge on how to manage data, for example, related to hotel sustainability, how to go beyond emissions, how to look at carbon pricing. That's the technical knowledge. But the business case and the real business value also comes in when you add the people. Networking, talking to other leaders, understanding how they solved problems that you're facing today. You can't get that anywhere else. You can't get that behind your desk. You need to come in person and you need to be able to meet people that might be different parts of the travel industry, but still have faced similar, adjacent, related problems in sustainability that'll help you solve them faster, better, and create a better product for your clients. Those are the two strongest reasons in my book: technical knowledge as well as the networking and connections.
And we've really, I mean, just looking at who you are and um, the knowledge you have, the career you have, we've really made an effort to put all these industry leaders in the same room in order for this event to be really a great return on investment, but also a return on emissions, if that's a concern to you. Chrissa, I know this was a really short conversation. Is there anything else you'd like to add when it comes to, sustainability in general, or the event in particular?
Fanny, I'm honored to have been invited, and it's a true pleasure to have the opportunity to partner with you, GBTA, and to meet members. If there's one thing that I would add at the end of this conversation with you is now is the time to invest in sustainability, not pull back. And the best place to figure out where to invest, what products to pilot, is at this sustainability summit.
And Thriving Through Change is really a great title to set the scene for what's looking like a great day that we'll be having on June 10th. So that's it for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you're serious about making business travel more sustainable, don't miss the GBTA Sustainability Summit in Washington, D.C. on June 10th. Be there to hear from Chrissa and other industry leaders. Connect with changemakers and leave with the insights you need to drive real impact. If you want to register, we'll put a link in the description below, and be part of the movement toward a more sustainable future in travel. Thank you so much, Chrissa, and see you on June 10th.